Those bald chicks are here to slay. Stop what you're doing, plug in and play. Those bald chicks will make your day. So stop what you're doing and say, those bald chicks.
Hello, all you bald and balding people, and welcome back to Those Bald Chicks, your favorite alopecia podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Paige and our ninth guest, Ariel Rawlings. You might also know her from Fox Fiber or the awesome Hair We Have On account on Instagram. We did an Instagram live with Ariel a little while back, and it was so much fun. So we wanted to have her on to share her story and chat a little bit. So welcome, Ariel. We're so happy you could join. Go ahead, start us out with your alopecia journey, story, whatever you want.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I loved having y'all on our Instagram live at Hair We've On. That was so fun. And I just love what y'all are doing. So thank you guys.
So my alopecia story. It starts about a little over 3 years ago. I had my second baby like 6 months earlier, and my hair started falling out, and I thought it was just like the usual postpartum hair loss, which is a thing that most people experience. I had it with my daughter before him, but it was more than, I started thinking something's not right. So finally I went to my doctor and did all the tests, and they diagnosed me with just low thyroid. And so I took that medication, and my hair actually stopped falling out for a minute. And then a month later, it all was falling out like in clumps, and like my family was like complaining because my hair was everywhere. They didn't realize really like what was happening. So they're like, I'm finding your hair in my clothes and like all over the floor, and it's a lot of hair to lose. So I was like emailing my doctor like, it's getting worse. Can I come in? She's like, she didn't have any availability for a long time, so I was just kind of emailing her. And I finally got in to see her, and she was like, oh, you weren't kidding. I'm like, did you think I was kidding?
Yeah, right. Not something to joke about, really.
Yeah, yes. My hair is falling out. Ha.
Yeah. So she was like, you should probably go see a dermatologist at this point. And so that was a few months later. Got in to see the dermatologist, and she looked at my head with like a microscope thing and like diagnosed me with alopecia. Yeah. And she was like, it's fine. We'll treat it. It's going to be fine. It's all going to grow back. And she like left the room and was like looking up, researching like immediately. Like she was like ready to go. So I had kind of figured out that that's what it was before I went in. And I had found like the Instagram community, and I was like, okay, if this is what's happening to me, I think the best route for me really is going to be just to, shave it and move on and accept it as best I can, rather than, hang on to that struggle.
Absolutely.
But still, it was a process. So I did go through some of the treatment. I did a couple of steroid shots, and I did some creams, and nothing was working. And that's just depressing to hang on to that hope, And I changed my diet dramatically. And I mean, really just tried to be healthier, like with the autoimmune stuff. But at the same time, it was maybe sacrificing some like just daily joy, obsessing over like what I was eating and all that stuff. So
trying to find something to help it was just so, I mean, I was obsessed with that too. I was like, maybe it's the shampoo. Maybe it's how hot my blow dryer is. Like, I thought about every little thing that could be doing it.
Right. It's a mental load and like physical to just keep up with all that. And there's so much information out there. Everybody thinks they know the right answer, and nope.
So you said that you had hair loss during your first pregnancy, right? It wasn't diagnosed alopecia though, was it?
No. So actually, like my first experience with what I think was alopecia was when I was like in maybe middle school. My mom was doing my hair, and she's like, what is this? And it was, a spot, I think, like on the back of my head, really smooth. And I was like, I don't know. She's like, did you pull your hair out? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe something just like ripped my hair out, a backpack. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And then it grew back, and nothing ever happened of it. And after all this has happened, I've thought back to that, and I'm like, that was probably a spot of alopecia.
And nobody really knew anything, so it was just kind of like, oh, maybe it's just a kid playing too rough and they lost their hair a little bit.
And nobody in my family has it. None of us knew what it was. So
they wouldn't really think to take you if it was so small. They probably thought, oh, then it'll just grow back if it got ripped out.
Right.
I wonder, though, since you didn't know and your family didn't know and you didn't have to think about it or stress about it, that's maybe why your hair didn't fall out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was first told that I had a bald spot on the back of my head when I played volleyball when I was young. And a girl was French braiding my hair. And she told me, and I said, oh, it's probably just because I wear extensions or I French braid my hair a whole bunch. And I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't get diagnosed for like years later until I went to the hair salon. So I feel like that had a lot to do with it. I didn't think about it. Nobody told me about it. I wasn't stressing about losing my hair. So wild.
Yeah. Another thing that I should know, I think what triggered it all is my second child was one of those babies that never slept and cried all the time. And so that is probably the stress that was like, I'm just gonna go crazy now. Attack your hair.
Oh, it seems like you're very upset. Let's make you more upset.
Right? Yes. Let's just, make things so much better for you. I remember, too, when I was diagnosed with low thyroid, which turned into Hashimoto's, which is, like, autoimmune as well.
Sure.
I was so depressed. I was, like, crying to my mom. I was like, I'm going to have to take medication for the rest of my life. Like, you take the thyroid hormone thing, levothyroxine or whatever, which isn't a big deal, I've come to learn. There's no real side effects or anything, but just thinking about that and then like what was to come after that, it was
absolutely
kind of funny, but
100%. I mean, even with like the steroid injections and the cream, it was a lot to think about because it's like just another added thing you had to add to your routine. Like after I went to college and I had classes and I was stressed, I had to go to the dermatologist to get a bunch of shots on my head. So it's like I already had enough stress and that just gave me more stress. So
and they tell you like just quit stressing. That's what's causing it.
Yep.
Well, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice to have a stress-free life?
Oh,
can you imagine? Man, I wouldn't have any acne. I wouldn't lose my hair. I'd be running every day.
Right? Yes.
Bodybuilding,
yeah, right.
All hot fruits and vegetables,
Never pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a novel idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, right?
Stress, okay.
Man.
That's the cure.
Yeah, the key to all my problems.
Why haven't I tried that?
Oh, man.
Yes, but so I guess it all fell out and then it just became the process of, actually I had my husband shave it off just quietly one night. I was like, I'm done. Let's just do this.
Yep.
So he shaved my head and it's been a process for me personally, I think, like in my relationship with my husband, because I changed so drastically. Like I didn't even recognize myself in the mirror. And so I feel like he got gypped. Like, you know, you married someone and I'm not who you married. I'm not, you know, it's not all about looks, but I just felt bad and not pretty and like attractive. So we had to work through that. It was a process for him to like, you know, see me being so different, but he was very supportive through it all. You know, you still have your eyes, your smile, you know, like he was very comforting, but it was still just a really hard thing, I think, for me.
Yeah.
It still is sometimes, like, because I'm not who he chose. And, well, I shouldn't say it that way.
I know what you mean.
Every marriage kind of changes anyways.
Absolutely.
You know? But
it's such a difficult thing to put into words because it's just like they saw you a certain way when they met you and agreed to marry you. And now it's like you're different, like on the outside, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, they change and they grow with you. And I'm sure he could never imagine his life without you. So
yeah, it's been really good for us in the long run, you know, to, I guess, sort of attest in our marriage, like that this runs deeper than just what we looked like at the beginning. We're going to change anyways.
We're going to get older, right?
It was just such a drastic change. And like my self-confidence, of course, took a dive. But we've worked out well and we've both grown through this relationship. And
we can totally understand that because we went through the same thing. I still have days where I'm like, you sure?
Yeah,
like I'll just look at him like, you see what I'm looking at like right now? Like, are you sure? He's like, yes, what? I'm like, all right, I just need like reassurance sometimes,
Exactly.
okay?
So often.
I obsess over it more than he does, I think. But I do.
Yep.
I'm like, would you have chosen me like now? You know.
Yep.
So it's just
I
a
do
weird
the
thing
same
that comes with
Yeah.
hair loss, like happening in the middle of a relationship. I guess you know.
Yep. Absolutely. I feel like it would be different too, like if the person went through it with you. You know what I mean? Like, or didn't know about it and then found out about it. Like, it's so different for every single person, because I know people that never told their significant other and then waited, or they knew about it, or it didn't happen until they were far into dating. So I feel like it's so different for everybody, because it's like, it kind of, I don't know, it's wild to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, alopecia hits all of us at different phases of life, like kids and like young adults, and you know, and I often think I'm so glad it happened to me when it did, because you know, this would have been really hard to go through at this age, but I think it all has its challenges at different phases. It all can be hard. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I found wigs, and that was super fun, and I challenged myself to go out bald, and that was fun as well. You know, I have places where I'm comfortable being bald and places where I'm just more comfortable wearing hair, and that doesn't mean that I don't accept myself without hair, you know. It's just what's comfortable for me, and that's totally fine.
We also have the luxury of choice.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah. And that was a huge thing. When I was losing my hair, I felt like I didn't have any control. And so just like getting some of that back in a way through like wigs and hair has been healing.
Us too. We agree.
Yeah.
There are certain places where I'm like, I just don't feel comfortable about surroundings. Like maybe people that could possibly be there or say something. Like for a perfect example, up north, we go in the summer like to a cabin. I feel 100% at ease there because it's peaceful and it's at the lake and there's people are far away but not close, so it feels like you have more space to be yourself. But in like confined spaces, like it kind of freaks me out. It kind of like, I don't know who's saying what or thinking things, and it just gives me anxiety. So I would rather be more comfortable than put myself in an uncomfortable situation. So
yeah, I've often like told myself wearing hair is just like putting my shoes on. Like I'm not necessarily going to go somewhere without shoes. Like and it doesn't mean anything bad about myself.
Yep.
Or you know,
I like that. It's like putting shoes on.
Yeah, or like putting your makeup on. But I agree. Like going to the gym for me, I'm comfortable because I've always gone to the gym since I lost my hair, and I have like a great community there. But other places where I've never been bald before, I don't want extra attention right now.
Yep.
So.
And sometimes you just don't. You just don't feel like it. You don't feel like having any questions, and that's okay too. Because if you don't feel like it, then you just want to glide through like everybody else is grocery shopping.
Exactly.
Yep.
I don't want any of the comments. I don't want any of the sympathy. I don't
want any of it.
I just want to get my bread and my
milk.
Yes, just get stuff and go.
Get some food.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna jump into some questions.
Ooh.
What was the hardest hurdle for you to jump when it came to your hair loss?
Just initially recognizing myself in the mirror, being confident and comfortable with my husband without hair. I think those were two really big things. I wouldn't let anyone like look at me from behind, or like, you know, I was very self-conscious of that, and like, don't touch my head, like, because I don't accept it quite yet.
Yep.
Yeah, just working through that and like giving myself the time to work through that, and like not comparing my journey with anyone else's. I mean, I feel very grateful. Like I've had, you know, the Instagram community has been like huge, and just seeing people like live happy lives without hair. The support of my family and has just helped me cross those hurdles, I feel like, quicker than I would have without them.
Yeah. I think it's so important to see people just in, like you said, in life, even wearing hair, like wearing wigs out there and not caring, traveling with them, or even rocking bald wherever they go. I feel like it's so refreshing to see people just do what they want and not worry about it. That helps me kind of get through it too. I would agree with you with like my husband too. I've gained some weight lately, and that's been harder for me with my hair loss because my face has changed a little bit too. And I'm like, ooh, I've gained a little bit of weight, which I know, and taking my wig off, it's even more of a change because I've gained weight. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I want to look at myself right now. Like this almost like hides it just a little bit because it's just too much change at once. So I feel the same way. That's why sometimes when we're sitting there or eating dinner together and I don't have a wig on, I'll be like, I'll be right back. This is going to make me feel a little more comfortable. So I'm still working through stuff like that too. And I feel like alopecia is just up and down every single day. You got to just figure it out, you know?
Yeah. And I just had my third baby and gained so much weight with that. And so that's been a big thing too. And I don't lose the weight. Like, you know, I don't bounce back or whatever. I don't know how many people really do, but it takes me a minute, you know, to get back to comfortable weight. And so that's been a hit, I guess. You know, it's just another level with alopecia, I feel
Absolutely. There's so many. You don't realize until it like happens and you're like, oh, here's another thing I have to get over because I felt way more comfortable in wigs lately than I have without my wig. And I'm like, man, this is definitely something I'm trying to get over because, it's something else. It takes control sometimes. And I'm like, all right, I need to figure out how to not let it take control.
Yeah, if I could just not care what anyone thinks about me.
Yeah, that would be nice too. Yeah. Another thing to write on the list.
Yeah, don't stress.
Don't stress.
Second secret.
We'll have a third by the end, guys.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we're just going to continue firing questions at you. In what ways do you advocate and or spread awareness about alopecia?
So when I first started losing my hair, I created my faux fiber Instagram account and just shared my experience because I wanted somewhere to talk about it. I wanted somewhere to connect with other women. And I was doing it on my personal account, but it just didn't, like, it was a bunch of people that were just kind of watching. Like they didn't know anything about it. So the faux fiber account was like a way for me to really connect with other women. So I started sharing my experience there. And through that, Yinka, the founder of Hair Weave On, based out of Dublin, but we have online sales and e-commerce is a big part of the business. But anyways, she reached out to me and asked me to write a blog for their website. And when I was going through this, my daughter was old enough to see what was happening. And so I think my first blog was like going through hair loss with, you know, my daughter watching and what that was like for her and for me and how I explained that to her. And she was pretty young. And so I got to write that blog, and then that turned into another blog about like working out with alopecia, and it evolved into me doing like marketing work for Hair Weave On, helping add new products to the website, and then more blogs and Instagram lives. I run the Instagram page for Hair Weave On, and I get to interview so many amazing people in the community on our lives.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Share their stories and cool products, and I love that part of it so much, connecting with other people who have gone through hair loss or different things.
Absolutely.
But that's been amazing. But yeah, that's kind of the big way I'm like trying to spread the awareness and share about alopecia, and this community is just incredible. I can't say it enough.
I feel like the main goal is just like, even if it helps one person, that's all that matters, you know? Like Definitely. If one new person that is brand new to hair loss and has nowhere to go or turn, and they watch your live or hear a podcast or see a post where they're like, oh my gosh, and then they find the community, that's the whole point, you know?
Exactly.
Like, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I remember when I was losing my hair, I just like frantically searching, like I was watching YouTube videos, just trying to find information or like other people who've gone through this. And
yeah.
So I know that it was very valuable to me to have, you know, people to relate to. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, one of my favorite questions. Do you have any moments throughout your hair loss journey that make you laugh now, knowing that things are a little bit easier, or any embarrassing moments that you could laugh at now?
Oh, let's see. Okay, yes. So there's this thing called the hat magic, and it's like, you know, I don't know if y'all know what it is, but you've seen them before, I'm sure. It's like an elastic with the wig on the bottom half.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
When you're not wearing it, you look like like an old man, basically. Yeah.
I'm already really dying.
Cute. Yeah. So my family was going to just like this little mini like amusement park for my daughter's birthday. And I was like, this will be great. I'll wear the hat hair. You know, it's not a full wig. It's not like bulky and crazy, and it'll be good. But like we get to the first roller coaster and they're like, oh, no hats, no loose items on Cannot take it off. I'm sorry. This is not. I'll hold it on. I swear.
Yeah, my hand will be glued to my head.
I don't want it to fall off more than you don't want it to fall off.
Right.
So that was really funny. I ended up just wearing. I convinced her to let me wear it on the ride because I was like, this will probably, I don't know, shock you or.
Absolutely. I feel like that's like the worry of everybody that does wear hats, because right now my wig is not secure at all. I'm pretty sure it's back here. Wait, let me look. Like, it's not in the right spot because I have a hat on. So if anybody were to tell me to take off my hat, it's like I can't take like that. I can't.
It doesn't come off.
I can't take it off. But I had a similar thing when I went to a concert where before I was public about my hair loss or anything, I always wore baseball caps with my extensions and stuff because I almost had no hair. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, you need to lift it up. I need to see if you have anything under there. And I went, well, I'll tell you what I got under there. It's nothing pretty. So please do not make me take this off. Like, I do not want to do this right now. And it's just a clump of nest hair. No, absolutely not.
I was on a bike once
doing
with a big giant helmet on, and I'd fallen off the bike. Anyway, I had to walk all the way back with a stupid helmet on because I was like, I can't take this off.
Not taking it off.
With it. Like,
yep. Not
so here
doing
I am in a residential area walking with this ginormous helmet. And people are like, what are you doing? Nothing. Don't look at me.
Just don't even pay attention.
Let me get home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I need to get comfortable again. Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of another time I was in Wyoming with my husband on like a little vacation, and we went snowmobiling, and I had this really cute like pink wig on with braids and stuff, but it was like really annoying me and super uncomfortable, and I was like, I just can't anymore. You have to wear that big helmet thing too.
Yeah.
So, like, I got the helmet and, you know, the people were there helping me and everything. And then when I came back, I had, like, taken the wig off and stuffed it in, like, one of the little cubbies of the snowmobile. So I come back and I have no hair. And they were just kind of, I think I remember them just kind of, like, looking at me out of the corner of their eyes. Like, what happened? Sometimes I really don't care what people think. And I'm like, you know, this is bothering me, so I'm going to take it off.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. For my comfort.
Yep. 100%. It's always so funny to reflect on embarrassing moments, though, because it's like, at the time, I'm terrified, but thinking about it now, I just crack up at something like that, you know?
I've jumped in a pool before with the hat magic on as well, and it's come completely off.
It's just floating away.
I was with my nephew when I did that one time, and he's like, your hair fell off!
I love it. So I know, I feel like that would be so shocking for kids to see. Like, kids are just kids, you know? So I can't imagine jumping in a pool at, like, a resort, and my wig's just floating. And I come up
without, too.
They'll, like, probably grab it, like, what is this?
Yes. Oh. But my kids and my nephews they just roll with it.
That's awesome.
They know that I'm the aunt that changes her hair, sometimes doesn't have hair, and they're very resilient.
I love it.
My daughter today, that actually reminds me, she had like this unicorn coloring book, and it was like, write your wishes down and they might come true. And she was like thinking of these wishes, like, I want a pet unicorn. She's like, oh, and I want to be bald like mom as one of her wishes. And I was like, that's so sweet.
That is the cutest thing ever. See, it's stuff like that where you don't even expect it, but kids just say the cutest stuff where you're like, are you kidding? This just changed my whole life. This one sentence you just said changed my whole world. Oh, yeah. I love it. All right, we have a couple more questions.
I would never wish that upon her, but
absolutely. It's just so cute that she thought of that, though. Like, I want to be just like mom. When it comes to your alopecia or hair loss in general, why do you think it's underrepresented?
I think it's underrepresented because we can hide it so easily, and like people cannot even know. There was someone at my church. I go to church with different hair. I wear hair, but I just change it up like all the time. This girl was like, I thought you were a hairdresser and just changed your hair all the time. I'm like, from short to long, you know?
Yeah, right.
So in that way, it's underrepresented, I guess, because you can just fly under the radar and like, you know, nobody has to know about it. And then like I was talking with Faith Williams. She has alopecia in New York, and she's acting and modeling and stuff. And we talked about how like in movies and stuff, there isn't just like a normal character that's bald, that's a woman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They all are like the witch or the bad guy or they have cancer or, you know.
Which is so wild because look at how long hair loss has been a thing. Like, we did an episode on the history of hair loss, and it's literally been a thing for so long. So for society not to just grasp that and to still continue, even after all of the education that's happened with, you know, like the Jada Smith thing, and everybody was searching alopecia and everybody knew about it, people still go right to people being
Cancer.
Sick. Yeah, and stuff like that. And it's just so crazy to me because I'm like, how? There's been so much education. Like, there's so many people in the community screaming from the rooftops about it. And I'm just so blown away that that's still a thing.
And there's 6 million people with alopecia.
Right.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few of us.
Yeah,
absolutely. And every day I feel like people are getting diagnosed. Every month people are getting diagnosed, and it's like, it's so much more common when you actually see the community together. And like, you realize there's celebrities, there's models, there's scientists, there's literally alopecians everywhere.
Yeah.
Like sports stars, there's basketball stars, like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just so wild to me that it's still looked at as that. Like, baldness is still looked at as that, and it's not accepted more because it's been around for so long, right? I don't know. It's just something else.
I think there's definitely been a lot more education on it, like in my generation. Like, I talked to my mom about this, and she's like, my life would have been over. Like, if this happened to me, you know, I would have never left the house. I think social media has helped spread that awareness tremendously and get the word out there. But yeah,
I think that's a difficult thing to say when you don't have it, right? Because it's like your life has to go on. You can't just
stop.
And I'm like, well, I don't want my life to be over. It can't be over. You know, I have to live with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
3 kids and a husband to think about. Like, there's there's no sitting in a hole and not dealing with it. So
yeah, I go to the kids' school pickup as a different person every day.
Right. That's probably getting all those kids used to that, though. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
feel
actually
like
got to go into my daughter's kindergarten class last year and talk about what I did for work. And I told them that I wear wigs, and they were like, can you take off your wig or, like, you know, show us this wig or whatever? And I took it off, and they all started clapping and cheering. And I was like, they're so cute.
Stop it.
It was really awesome. Yeah,
I started just crying.
Yes, it was so cute. They were just
so welcoming.
Great hearts.
Yeah, that's adorable.
They all thought it was so cool.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Kristen, go ahead. We got 2 more questions.
All right.
And these are great questions.
These are great questions. So, what are your best resources or people that have helped you along your journey? I know you said the Instagram community, but
yes,
specific people?
Yeah, so my sister, she lived in Washington. I live in Texas. I, of course, talked to her through the hair loss situation, and she went to like a baby shower, and there was a woman there that was bald, and she was like, can I put you in contact with my sister? Like, I think she asked her, like, can I ask you why you don't have hair? And she told her it was alopecia, and I think it was like around the time I was getting diagnosed or whatever. So she put me in contact with her, and that was like huge for me. We followed each other on Instagram, and she just almost always doesn't have wigs on. And just seeing her like happy and healthy and like going for runs and like raising her kid, just being amazing, was like, okay, I can do this. Like, life is still going on. So that was huge. And then Bald Mother Tucker was like a huge one for wigs. Like, she makes any wig look amazing. And I'm like, okay. When I didn't know anything about wigs, like, I had gone to like just this wig shop nearby, and like the wigs weren't that great. Only had like a super dark, dense wig. That was my first wig. But seeing her account, and I was like, wow, the hairline can look so natural, and like there's all these different colors and like styles, and that really helped me tremendously in my wig journey, I suppose. But there's so many on the Instagram community. Abby Wren is another one. She's just amazing. Christy Valdesiri was a big one that I followed. And there's like some of the cutest like little girls on there that are like just such lights, and like if they can do it, if they can go to school, if they can, you know, have those like amazing smiling faces, like
throughout
I can
it
do
all,
this
right?
for them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those I guess are just some to shout out. That
some of many. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many to talk about.
I'm sure I'm leaving some out, and I'm sorry if I
I know, right?
So
You just have to group it all together because there's so many people. I feel like every day I see a new person that's either new to the community or shaving their head for the first time.
My feed before.
Yeah, right. It's like every day I see new people and I'm like, yep, this is what I love. Yeah, absolutely.
The alopecia community on Instagram, that's like been one of the best things that has come of this, is just all the amazing women and men that I've been able to meet.
Yeah.
Most of them virtually. Like we need to all just like plan to get together.
I know. It's always virtual. It's so crazy because it's like, man, I feel like I know so many, but then I go out in the real world and I'm like, where are they? You know, like where are they?
Yes, I just want to give everyone a hug. It's awesome that we have this, virtual situation that we can talk to each other and share stories.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, our last but favorite question. What is one piece of advice that you would want to give someone new to hair loss or currently possibly regressing right now?
My heart just is with everybody that is going through this. I've had friends reach out to me that are someone that was recently diagnosed with alopecia and losing hair, and I just want to give them a big hug and tell them they're not alone. But I guess my biggest piece of advice is that you can't compare your journey with hair loss to anyone else's, and like there's going to be good days and there's going to be hard days. And whatever you need to do that makes you feel more comfortable or more confident, like that is what you need to do. You shouldn't feel like you need to do certain things to prove that you're confident or whatever. Find your path and life keeps going on and you'll find strength in this and it will make you stronger than you knew you could be. In my experience, at first it was like the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. Yeah. And then now it's like most days I wouldn't wish it back. Some days I would, but most days I'm like, it has given me so much. Like, would I trade all these wonderful women in my life and like the work I get to do? Like, I'm going to Dublin next week for Hair Weave On.
Right.
It's been 3 years since I was diagnosed with alopecia. It's literally brought me across the world.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. And like this summer, we're going to be opening a storefront here in Texas, and I get to help women that are experiencing hair loss in the community here and, help them find hair if that's what they need or want. And like your hard times can be turned into some of your strongest and can make you a better person. And for sure, like God has like turned this horrible thing into something very beautiful for me. And I know he can do that, whether you believe in God or not. Like your challenging experiences in life will make you stronger, and just find your people that love you and stick close to them and do your best. Don't stress and don't care.
Don't stress and do not care. Those are the main two goals.
Yes. Above all else, just quit stressing.
Everything. Yeah. Just don't do those two things and you will be good.
So hopefully I wasn't just rambling there, but that's kind of been my experience and what I would share with and what I have shared with people.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you said, because it's like hair loss isn't just hair loss. It comes with so much more stuff. And once you get over that, you realize how much you have gained from it. I feel like I see clearer in life. Like I read things better. I don't care about small things that I used to care so much and obsess so much about. And I feel like hair loss has really made me change the way I think about stuff. And I feel like I would take all of that and my hair loss rather than not have any of that insight,
You can uniquely feel that like pain and hurt for other people that are going through that. Like I know what that feels like.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So we just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yes.
Y'all are amazing.
You're so great. We loved our live with you. Like that was so much fun.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. And we were like, we have to have her on because we wanted you to tell your story on our podcast and we wanted to talk to you more. And we're so happy that you came on. You gave some awesome insight.
Sometimes I felt like I was just talking.
No, it was great. I feel like every time I always get something out of every single person that comes on. Like, whether it's advice or a story or a good laugh, like I love that I take something away from every single one. We also have a chick bit at the end of every episode, and this one is pretty cool. The unicorn is the national anthem of Scotland.
Animal.
What did I say?
Anthem.
I didn't.
It could be a song. But
Did I really say that? Oh my God. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. You have to finish it.
Although it's a fabled creature, the national animal of Scotland is actually the mythical unicorn, chosen because of its association with dominance and chivalry, as well as purity and innocence in Celtic mythology. So, yeah.
Just another reason to love Scotland.
Yeah,
exactly,
right. Just another reason.
I thought it was, you talked about unicorns on here, so
it's kind of just perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you again. We love talking to you, and you guys know everything that we're about to say. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at thosebaldchicks@gmail.com. I'm still thinking of that anthem. Or send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. All of the links to everything you need is in our direct me, which you will be able to find in the episode description. Until next time, guys, bald pick out.